Hello everybody, welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League all the way playthrough. We are at the final game of April the 13th, and it's going to be the New York Yankees and the Cleveland Indians. And starting pitchers for today's game, Charles Hudson for the Yankees, 11-7, 3.61 ERA on the regular season. Greg Swindell, 3-8 with a 5.10 ERA. There was a limited schedule played in the American League on this date, April the 13th. So we'll go through those real quick, the ones I played offline. First, Milwaukee took care of Baltimore 7-2. Brewers improved to 6-1. Orioles fall to 3-4. Winner Mike Birkbeck, he's 2-0. He went 6 1/3, giving up just 2 runs. Chuck Krim went 2 2/3 innings to get his first save. And Scott McGregor took the tough luck loss, 5 2/3 with 4 runs earned allowed. Ironically, no home runs in the game. So no home runs to report in the game. Orioles did leave 12 on base compared to the 6 left on by the Brewers. So that could have hurt them a little bit as well, but still, when you get out, scored 7-2, it's pretty much over at that point. It was a 2-2 game after 3. After 5, it was still 2-2, but then Milwaukee put 2 on the 6th. And then the coup de grace was a 3 in the 8th inning. Rick Manning came in and pinch hit for Braggs, hit a pinch hit triple. Then after a walk, Cecil Cooper doubled to bring home the first run, put runners on second and third, and Dale Swaim 2-run single here. And there's your 3 runs. So Milwaukee wins at 7-2 to improve to 6-1, and they are in first place in the American League East. Next game, Minnesota and Oakland at the Oakland Coliseum. And it was the A's winning by the final score of 4-1. They improved to 5-2. The Twins troubling at 2-5. Viola took his first loss. He went 6 2/3, gave up 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Eric Plunk, 6 2/3 with only 1 run allowed, but did not get the win because it was tied at 1-1 after 6. Then he tired in the 7th. Gene Nelson came in, so Gene Nelson gets the win. He's now 1-0. Eckersley got the final out of the ball game to earn his second save. I was going to try to let Nelson finish it, but Mark Salas had a pinch hit single with 2 outs in the 9th. Tim Laudner a pinch hit double that put the tying run at the plate in Randy Bush. So I brought in Eckersley, struck out Bush, and that was the end of that. Again, no home runs in the game for either team. One troubling thing, Minnesota did leave 10 runners on base. So that was part of their bugaboo. Plus, they committed 2 errors. Only had 3 hits. So Minnesota drops to 2-5. Oakland now at 5-2. Next game, or the only other game other than that, California and Seattle. So like I said, it's a limited schedule. Seattle actually shut out California 3-0. Mike Moore went the distance. A 5-hit shutout to improve to 2-0. The Candyman, John Candelaria, drops to 0-2. 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs. Phil Bradley did hit his first home run of the game, the only home run of the games played offline. Seattle now 6-1, first place in the West, and California 1-6. And now that leads us up to our game today, Cleveland and the Yankees. And it'll be Greg Swindell against Charles Hudson. Since I am recording it, I'm going to be recording the scores in the computer as I go, so I'll be able to give you up-to-date stats as to what's going on. The way the score sheet I printed, there's 2 kinds of score sheets I can get from the Sim Research. I probably should have printed the other version because this one's kind of spaced a little bit different, so it's hard for me to get the line score up here and show the bottom of the score sheet. So I may have to do some sliding as we go. So since it's being recorded, I can't really see it on the computer, as to what's going on. So I'm going to have to guesstimate, I assume. All right, I did notice that Cleveland is missing 3 players from the card set. And there was a gentleman who sent me some additional players. Of course, he didn't send me all of them, so these 3 were missing. So I did print off Otis Nixon and Dave Gallagher. Those are offensive players. Nixon's actually in the lineup hitting second. So he's there. Gallagher's on the bench. And one of their relief pitchers, Tom Waddell, was also not carded because of their limited usage, but I do have those now here. So they are ready to go. Yankees have everybody carded, or at least I have the backups per se. Now, the gentleman that sent me the other cards, he prints them a whole lot nicer than I can. They look just like the regular ones on the computer. I don't have that technology, so I don't even try because it's not even a thing. So, and actually, look at this. I actually had Tom Waddell already printed and didn't even realize it. So I got 2 Tom Waddell cards right here. They're both the same, obviously. This one does have his record 0-1, the 14.29 earned run average. I think he had like 7 games pitched or something. It wasn't pretty, so that's just the way that is. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's bring in our bullpens and benches for both teams. One notable thing is Brett Butler is on the disabled list. He will not play again until the 1st of May. He is injured, and so they have brought up Dave Gallagher, or either Otis Nixon. One of the two came up from the minors. Probably Gallagher, most likely. So that's the reason that Brett Butler's not in there, in case you were curious. All right, like I said, I do have the game up on the computer. So I will be looking to input that as we go. So, it might be a little more of a, what do you call, a methodical pace. But I am kind of crunched for time, so I do want to go ahead and record this rather than go live, because if we get in the chat, that's going to make the video go probably about 20 minutes longer, and I really need to get this done in less than an hour. I'm recording now at 10:30 on a Sunday morning. I want to get this done by 11:30. If I went live, I'd be here till noon. So, and I really have things to do. So, all right. So, ballpark effects: singles 1 to 7 for both lefties and righties at Yankee Stadium. Home runs 1 to 9 for lefties, 1 to 8 for righties. Pitcher-catcher interface: Greg Swindell is a -2 when you combine him and Dempsey. Swindell's a -3, Dempsey's a +1. Hudson's a -2. We got Skinner at 0, but Hudson's a -2. So that's the interface there. Wild pitches, because the cards don't have it on the 87, they don't have the pitcher, balk, and wild pitch. So on the computer, Hudson's a wild pitch of 6, a balk of 0. Swindell's a wild pitch of 0 and a balk of 4. So hopefully that covers everything as far as I can get it. Charles Hudson, this is his first start. He did make a relief appearance, or at least 1 relief appearance, maybe 2. Let me double check his numbers. If I can get it to come up on the computer here, we will check his stats. I don't know if it gives, I don't think it gives, it doesn't give the log on this particular game screen. But he's 0-0 with a 0 ERA, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. But again, this is his first start. So Charles Hudson finishing up the warm-up tosses. And Tony Bernazard will lead things off for the Indians. And now I need to make sure that I got everything where it needs to be so that you guys can see everything. That's the other challenge about recording, is you can't get a preview on the computer like I do when I'm streaming. So hopefully we can get this where it needs to be. All right, now let's check the top. I think I'm cutting somebody off over here. Cut the line score off. Okay. All right, so I think from there we are pretty good to go. Looks like, let me do the, looks like the focus, let me do the focus one more time. Looks like the focus is pretty good. So Charles Hudson facing Tony Bernazard to start us off here on this April 13th date. Next game, the next game on April 14th, the video for the next game will be Texas at Boston from Fenway Park. It'll be Ed Correa, the right-hander, against Al Nipper, a right-hander. That'll be probably on Wednesday. All right, so leading off will be Tony Bernazard. He's hitting a .179, a homer, and 3 runs driven in. And we're underway from Yankee Stadium. 6-9, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to center. 1 away. And that'll bring up Otis Nixon with his computer-generated card. So let me put in the fly out to center so we got that updated. All right, Nixon. So obviously Gallagher came up because Nixon's got 4 at-bats in pinch hitting roles. He's 0 for 4. No walks, no strikeouts, no nothing. 2-8, and that is a ground ball to third. Don't know how well it shows up on the video, but that is a ground ball to third. So that is handled by Pagliarulo, and it's 2 up and 2 down. And we'll send up Julio Franco, the shortstop. He's hitting 241, no homers, and 2 runs driven in. Of course, very limited stats, so sample size is very small, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm just doing it for informational purposes. 2-5 is another ground ball to third. Pagliarulo is there, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Cleveland Indians. They go 3 up and 3 down. And now on the mound for the Tribe will be Greg Swindell. And we'll look at Swindell's numbers on this replay so far. Swindell is 0-1. He's had 1 start. He's 0-1 with a 3.86 earned run average, 17 pitch, 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So he's looking to even his record on the season. He'll be facing Ricky. And Ricky Henderson's struggling, only hitting 167 on the season. He has no homers or runs batted in. He has walked 5 times and stolen 1 base. Whoops, Sewer Dice. Let's re-roll that. Got to re-roll the Sewer Dice. Boy, I'm just having all kinds of problem with these dice. That one just slipped totally out of my hand and went way over here. So greasy fingers or something. I don't know what's going on. But now we're back in business. 1-7 against the lefty is a 1-7 double, but that's a 15, so he will fly to center. And Ricky, his struggles continue. And that'll send up Willie Randolph. Randolph hitting 238, no homers and 1 run driven in. 5-4 to the right-handed hitter is a ground ball third base X. That is Jacoby. He's a 4.25. See if he can get to it. A 4 and a 13 should be okay. We'll verify. 4 and a 13 is a G3, which is good enough. And now the E25 you got to worry about. And need to avoid 6, 8, 13, 15, and 17, which he barely does. But it's a good play for Jacoby on a tough hop. And Randolph is retired. That'll bring up Donnie Baseball. And Donnie Baseball is hitting 333, 8 for 24, 2 homers, 6 runs driven in. It's a 5-8 lefty on lefty is a strikeout. So Donnie Baseball goes down on strikes. And the inning's over. So just that quickly, we're through 1 inning of play here at Yankee Stadium. And we have goose eggs. And now Joe Carter will lead things off for the Tribe against Hudson. Carter. I'm going to take this Otis Nixon card out until he bats because it's just kind of not shaped exactly the same. So here we go. Joe Carter hitting only a $120. He's really struggling in 25 at bats. He does have 1 home run, which is his only RBI. He does have 2 steals, so he has drawn some walks as well. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. So Joe Carter down on strikes for Mel Hall. Hall hitting 500. He's 7 for 14 in limited duty. He's not playing against lefties. He's playing mostly against righties. He only played 7% against lefties in the real game, in the real season. So all of his bats mostly against righties. He's 7 for 14 with 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 9 runs driven in. Off to a wonderful start. 1-7, but not now. He's going to strike out. So Hudson will put a curb on his batting average a little bit. And that'll bring up Pat Tabler, Mr. Bases Loaded. He's infamous for being very good with the bases loaded. So we'll see what happens here. Strat, actually, though, weirdly enough, is not ready. He doesn't have a single clutch at bat on any of his cards, which is very, very interesting. No clutches on his cards at all. But anyway, Pat Tabler's hitting 407 in 27 at bats. No homers, 2 runs driven in. Hudson 5-7, ground ball shortstop X. That is Tollison. He's a 3 E22. 3 and a 10 should be good. It is a G2. That's good enough. Now the E22, he's got to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18, which he does barely with the 7, but it's a good play for Tollison, and that's going to put the Tribe down 3 up and 3 down again. So 9 batters have strolled to the plate, and all have strolled back to the dugout. A big offer. Swindell out now. Will be facing Dave Winfield. Winfield hitting .231 in 26 at-bats, 2 homers, 31 driven in. I'm sorry, 3 driven in. 6-7 to the righty is a walk. So first base runner, and it is Dave Winfield. So let's move this up as we get to the bottom of the Yankee order. Move this up so that it shows up on the score sheet. So Winfield with a walk, he will not be held. So he's aboard, but his chances of stealing are not very good. On the 87 season, stole 5 bases, got caught 6 times. So he can get the lead on a 4 through 6, but he's automatically out on a 10. Swindell's a -2. So you take the -2 plus the -2 for being held. If he gets the lead, it's only a 1-9. So they're going to hold him there. And we'll go to Gary Ward, a $174. No homers, 3 runs driven in. But our first havoc roll, since there's a base runner. Nothing going on here. Swindell. 1-9 to Ward. That's a single, 2 stars. So that's going to put runners on the corners with nobody out. And the Yankees have something cooking. Ward will not be held either. And the DH Ron Ma and Paul Kittle coming to the plate. He's hitting .364 in just 11 at-bats. A home run and 2 runs driven in. Cleveland playing back for the double play. They need outs. 2-3, and as a ground ball shortstop A, it's a good thing they didn't play in because that would have been a base hit, but it will be a 6-4-3 double play in instead. The run will score, but they get the 2 outs. So that's an equitable trade in the eyes of the Cleveland Indians. 6-4-3, pitcher's best friend. That limits them to probably just the 1 run. And with 2 outs and the base is clear now, it's Mike Pagliarulo. He's struggling at 158. No homers and 1 driven in. It's a 6-10. Left-handed is a catcher X. That is Dempsey. He's a 3 with an E13. 3 and a 4 for a catcher. 3 and a 4 is a W/G, so it looks like a ground out unless there's an error. He is an E13. He's got to avoid. As a catcher, avoids a lot of them. He's got to avoid. He's got 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. And that's a 10, so he did avoid it. It's going to be a 2-3 ground out to end the inning, but the Yankees pick up a run. Yankees do pick up the run. Like focus got off here somehow or another. Don't know how that happened, but it did. See about fixing that. Sorry about that. All right, so that will do it for the Yankees, but they do take a 1-0 lead after 2 from the stadium. And now Charles Hudson. Charlie Hudson back out. Going to be facing Brooke Jacoby. Jacoby will be the first to bat. Looks like some of this right-handed stuff might have been getting cut off, so let me fix that. Make sure we're where we need to be. It's one of the dangers of just doing the recording is you can't see what's going on. The phone is above my head, so I have to stand up to look and see what I'm looking at periodically just to make sure everything is copacetic. But now I got to make sure the line score is in here. There we go. So people can see the line score as well. All right, it's an imperfect science. All right, here's Jacoby. And Jacoby hitting .522 in 23 at-bats. That's probably 12 for 23. No homers, 7 runs driven in. 5-8, and that is a strikeout. 3rd strikeout for Hudson. He is on his game here in his first start of the season. I bring up Corey Snyder. Snyder hitting .280. 2 homers, 5 driven in. It's a 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's again Tollison. He's a 3. 3 and a 10, he'll get to it. E22, he's got to avoid. 6, 15, 17, and 18. And he does, so it's a good play for Tollison. 2 down. And that'll bring up Rick Dempsey, number 9 hitter, former longtime Oriole. And on the season, he's hitting 200, 2 for 10, a homer and 4 driven in. He had a grand slam his last game. That's where that came from. 2-8, and that's a walk. First base runner for Cleveland. It will be a 2-out walk to Rick Dempsey. Dempsey will not be held, and here comes Tony Bernazard. First havoc roll for Hudson. Nothing going on. Here's Bernazard. 4-9, switch hitter is a ground ball to second, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Go to the bottom of the third. Still 1-0 Yankees. And that will lead off to Joel Skinner, the catcher. Skinner hitting a .111, 2 for 18. No homers or runs driven in. 3-6 against the left-hander is a fly to center. So Joel Skinner flies to center, 1 away. Brings up the number 9 hitter, Wayne Tollison. He's hitting .235, a homer and 4 driven in. Switch hitter bats right-handed against Swindell, 4-8, and that's a single. So a base hit for Tollison, a 1-out single. Tollison not going to be held, not going to go anywhere. And we're back to the top of the order, and Ricky Henderson. Henderson flew to center his first chance. 4-8, and that's another single to center field. Tollison with the center fielder arm. Nixon's a +2, so it's possible he could advance. He runs at a 15, was not being held as a 16, +2 is an 18. So he will take third, and they will throw to second to keep Ricky at first base. So Nixon will just get it into the infield and keep Ricky Henderson at first base. Of course, Ricky can be looking to get this lead. He needs a 6 or a 7 to do so. He does not, so he cannot get the lead. So Ricky stays there, and here comes Willie Randolph. Infield now. Let's see what they got. With 1 out, a double play gets them out of the inning, so they are playing for the double play. Now Swindell to Randolph. 3-8 to the lefty is a walk, and that's going to load the bases. Bases are loaded for Donnie Baseball. Not a position you want to be if you're Swindell, to face Mattingly with the bases loaded. Infield is looking again for the double play. 3-10 to the lefty is a clutch situation, but there's only 1 out, so it will not be a hit, but it will be a possible sacrifice fly. It went to center field. Nixon's a +2 arm. Tollison's a 15. So the 15, you add 2, makes him a 17. You add 2 more for the arm, makes it a 19. So anything other than a 20, it's a sacrifice fly. Whoops, let's get it through the chute there. And it is sacrifice fly for Don Mattingly. Scoring Tollison, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead. 2-0 lead Yankees. And that will send up Winfield now. Henderson is being held at second. 3-9 for Winfield is a walk, and that's going to load the bases again. So Swindell playing with fire. And now Gary Ward, left fielder, is up with the bases loaded in 2 outs. A 1, so there's a chance of a wild pitch. But Swindell has a 0 wild pitch rating, so no chance there. 2-12 to the lefty is a ballpark blast. It's 1-8 for right-handers, but that's a 12. So he misses the grand salami. It's just a deep fly to left to end the inning. Yankees only get 1, and Swindell avoids a major catastrophe by getting that final out. The Yankees do get 1, but that's all they get. Could have been a lot worse. 2-0 Yankees at the end of 3. Hudson back out. We'll be facing the top of the order, Franco. I'm sorry, Nixon, then Franco, then Carter. So Otis Nixon is your first at bat. Make sure that we're still in line here. Nothing's getting cut off, hopefully. Bring this down just a hair. There we go. All right, so hopefully everything is in place. Nixon, his first time up, grounded to third base. 111, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Nixon out on strikes to start the inning. And that will bring up Julio Franco, grounded to third base also in his first chance. 5-4. That's an in-home run chance, 1-14. He does have weak power, though. So that's a 20. It will be a double. Would have been a single with the weak power, but he'll take the double. And Franco's aboard. First hit of the game for the Tribe. Franco runs well. They will hold him on second base. And Joe Carter, the batter, struck out his first chance. That's a 3-6 for Joe Carter. That is a ground ball to short. With the A there, that will freeze the runner. And now it'll be up to Mel Hall to get it done. Mel Hall. Average has dropped now to 467 since he struck out his first time. It was over 500 when the game started. Limited at bats, of course, just 15. 2-9, and that, look at this. 1-14 is a double. That is a 13. It'll be a double, 2 stars. And the Tribe is on the board. RBI double for Mel Hall. RBI double belongs to Mel Hall. Hall will not be held at second. It's now a 2-1 ball game, and here comes Pat Tabler. Hudson to Tabler. 2-5, and that's a 1-2 triple. Anything else will be a single. That is a 3. It's a single, 2 stars, so that will score Hall, and we got a tie game at 2. So second time around, the Tribe is getting to Charles Hudson. 2-2 ball game. Tabler will not be held at first. And here's Brooke Jacoby. (3-5), and that is a single. There's a clutch here, but we're not in a clutch situation because nobody's on. The runner's only on first, not on second. So it will be a base hit, 2 stars. So Jacoby will send Tabler to third base as they avoided the clutch part. And now runners are at the corners with 2 outs, and it's going to be all up to Corey Snyder. Corey Snyder grounded to short his first time up. He's got a juicy column 3, though. Hudson wants no part of column 3. If he doesn't, 4-6, he's going to end up walking him, though. And that's going to load the bases for Rick Dempsey. Dempsey hit a grand slam in the previous game. He's got a chance to do it again if the dice are right. He does have weak power against right-handers, though. So the home run came against the left-hander. So can't do it this time, but he can certainly drive home a run. Give the Indians the lead. Hudson, 1-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to short, and that will do it. But 2 runs come in for the Tribe, and they have tied this ball game. 2 apiece. 2 apiece. If we go to the bottom of the 4th, and Ron Kittle will lead things off for the Yankees. Kittle, first time up, hit into a double play. 3-6 to the lefty is a straight-up home run, no doubt about it. 3-6, I'll show it close up on the Kittle card. Make sure it's in focus here. 3-6, let's get the good focus here. 3-6, you can see it right there, bold, bright, 3-6 home run for Ron Kittle. for Kittle. That's home run number 2, RBI number 3. And the Yankees take a 3-2 lead to get the lead right back just that quickly. And here's Pagliarulo. 3-9 to the lefty, and that is a walk. So Kittle homers. And a walk to Pagliarulo. He will not be held at first base. And that will send us to Joel Skinner. Skinner flew to center his first chance. 3-7. 3-7 against a left-hander is a strikeout. So 1 down, and that brings us to Tollison, the shortstop. He singled and scored his first time up. 3-7 to the left-hander is another strikeout. So Swindell has come back with a couple of strikeouts. And now it's up to Ricky Henderson. He's 1 for 2. Singled his last time up. That's a 2, chance of a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball rating on Dempsey, and his pass ball rating is a 3. I know it's kind of scribbly there, but it is a 3. 14, there is no pass ball. So he will swing away. 1-9 to the lefty is a strikeout. Boy, 1-10 would have been a chance for a home run, but 1-9 is a strikeout. So Swindell comes back and strikes out the side after giving up the home run and the walk. We played 4, and it's 3-2 in favor of the Yankees. So we go to the 5th, and this is the fatigue inning for Charles Hudson. So keep an eye on that. He'll be facing top of the order, Bernazard, Nixon, and Franco. Bernazard 0 for 2. 4-9. He's going to be 0 for 3 on a ground ball to Willie Randolph. So Bernazard 0 for 3. Brings up Otis Nixon. Nixon is 0 for 3. I'm sorry, 0 for 2. Might be 0 for 3. 5-2. He is going to be 0 for 3 as a ground ball back to Hudson. Easy play there. And that'll send up Franco. Doubled and scored his last time up. 3-4, and that is a ground ball to third. That'll be handled by Pagliarulo. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Charles Hudson. What they call a shutdown inning. When your team takes the lead, you come back and shut down the opponents to maintain that lead. So he has full endurance going into the 6th as he gave up nothing. Swindell will now be facing Randolph, Mattingly, and Winfield, heart of the Yankee order. Randolph walked his last time up. 3-7 against the lefty. He's going to walk again. So walked by Swindell, and that is for Swindell. That is his 5th walk of the game. And Randolph will have to be held because he can get the lead on with that asterisk automatically, and they don't want that to happen. So he's not going to go anywhere, but he will have to be held. And here's Donnie Baseball, sacrifice fly his last time up. 5-5, struck him out. So Donnie Baseball with his 2nd strikeout. Only struck out 38 times in the regular season, but that's the one knock on Strat-O-Matic. You start getting off the pitcher card, and the batter has no chance to take that strikeout away like they do in some other games, namely inside pitch. But that's just the way the ball bounces. So here's Winfield. 5-5, and that's another strikeout. Again, off the pitcher card. And now they'll bring up Gary Ward. 3-8, and that is going to be a ground ball to third, and that they're going to go the short way, 5-4 for the fielder's choice to end the inning. And that's going to do it. We've completed 5 innings here at Yankee Stadium with the score 3-2. And again, Hudson, last inning was his fatigue inning, but he didn't give up anything, so he's going to keep full endurance. And he'll be facing Carter Hall and Tabler. Heart of the order for the Tribe. Almost the heart of the order. 4, 5, 6 hitters. Close to the heart of the order. All right, let me make sure everything is still copacetic. Looks like it is so far. Top of the 6th, 3-2 Yankees. Close one here at the stadium. 2-3 for Carter as they pop out to short. Tollison hauls it in, one away. For Mel Hall, he was the guy who hit the RBI double his first time up. Or his last time up, rather. 6-6 to the lefty. 1-19 is a single. That is a 19, so it'll be a base hit for Hall. And he will improve that average back over 500. He was right at 500 going into this at-bat. He's obviously over 500 again. He will not be held at first base. And here's Pat Tabler. .310 for Tabler. That's a walk. So Tabler on the .310 will draw a walk. And now, bullpen for the Yankees might start to stir, as they don't want this thing to get away from them. So I'm going to look at the computer and see who is the most rested Yankee relievers, or if there's any of them that are tired. Shirley is rested. Righetti is rested. Clements is rested. Guante is tired, so he's one of the guys that are not going to be available probably as Guante unless it's an emergency. Him and Tewksbury. So looking at their bullpen, the two right-handers, Guante and Tewksbury, show tired on the computer. So that means I'm going to default to these three guys and use these guys only if I run out of pitchers. So left-handed relief pitcher Pat Clements is loosing in the Yankee bullpen right now, in back of Hudson. All right, so Jacoby is your batter. First and second, only one out, no one being held. 6-6, and that's a 1-8 single, but that's an 18, so he lines it to short for out number 2. 2 down, and now it's going to be up to Corey Snyder in a clutch situation. He loses a couple of hits in column 1 on the clutch, so if he finds column 1, it could be trouble for him. Column 3 could be trouble for Hudson. 2 is a chance for a balk or a pass ball. Chance for a pass ball. And Skinner has a pass ball rating of 1. So there is no pass ball. So Corey Snyder will bat. 3-7, and that's a strikeout. So he found column 3, but he found a 7 instead of these other numbers. Struck him out to end the inning. So Hudson goes 6 innings, maintains a 3-2 lead. Still got a little bit of freshness left in him, so he's going to start out the 7th and see what happens. Swindell has a freshness of 7, so he's not tired yet. And he'll be facing Kittle, who homered his last time up to give the Yankees the lead. 4-6, and that's a strikeout this time. So Kittle out on strikes. And that will bring up Pagliarulo. 2-6 to the lefty, fly to center. Hauled in by Nixon. 2 down for Joel Skinner. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, but he's in there for his defense, not his offense. 1-3, he's going to pop it up to Bernazard for a quick 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 7th, still 3-2. Anybody's game. Hudson back out, but Clements is ready in the pen if needed. Rick Dempsey will lead it off. They could pinch hit for Dempsey if they so choose. They could pinch hit for Dempsey. Chris Bando is their backup catcher. Not a good hitter, but they could use somebody else to pinch hit. They could use maybe Carmen Castillo as a .250 hitter. Dempsey's only a $177, so they're going to pinch hit with Carmen Castillo. So Carmen Castillo will pinch hit, and Chris Bando will take over behind the plate in the bottom of the 7th. So Castillo and Bando, that leaves Thornton and Gallagher remaining. Thornton's not a very good hitter. Only a 118 average, so Kind of really don't want to use him if you can avoid it, even though he's a big name that people know. Just not very good. All right, so we'll go to the computer and make these substitutions. Pinch hitting will be Carmen Castillo in place of Dempsey, and Castillo is hitting .667 in 6 at-bats. He's got a home run and 2 runs driven in, so that they're going for the instant offense right here. And with all the switching and everything that went on, let me make sure that we didn't lose focus here. Looks like we're still okay, best I can tell. So Carmen Castillo pinch hitting against Hudson. 5-12, and Hudson on a 5-12 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Tollison. He's a 3. 3-19, he'll get to it. He is an E22. Got to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18, which he does. It's a good play for Tollison. And Castillo is out of there. And Bando will take over and catch the rest of the game. But they were trying for the offense. Here's Bernazard. 1-6 for Bernazard is a split chance. 1-5 is a single. That's an 8, though, so he's going to line it to second. And that's out number 2. Randolph grabs it. So they're trying to get 7 innings out of Hudson if they can. And then turn it over to the pen. Here's Franco. Franco's 0 for 3. Wait a minute, did I bat somebody out of turn here? No, it should be Nixon, not Franco. My bad. Something didn't come up right on the computer. I don't know what it is. Let me go back. I got to fix something here. Castillo line. What happened was I didn't put the grounder to short on the computer. I did it on the score sheet, not on the computer. So when I did the line out, or when I did the ground to short, it gave that to Bernazard for some reason. So gave it to Castillo. And now we need to line out to Bernazard. Now we're back in business. And Otis Nixon is your batter. They really don't have a whole lot of alternatives. They're going to have to go with Otis Nixon. That's a 5-8. Hudson against a switch hitter batting left. Is a strikeout with a dot, but he's not tired. So the strikeout will stand. And we're going to the 7th inning stretch. That's going to be it for Charles Hudson. We'll cap him at the 7 innings. And we will go to the 7th inning stretch, and I will take a break and get everything lined up for the 7th inning. Do a quick pause of the video, check the focus, check all my, I got to put the substitutions in the computer, and we'll pause and be right back. Okay, we're back for the bottom of the 7th, 3-2 ball game. This is the fatigue inning for Swindell. We'll be facing Tollison and then Henderson Randolph. 6-2, switch hitter batting right-handed, ground ball to second. Handled by Bernazard, and there's 1 away. Top of the order for Ricky. Ricky is 1 for 3 with a single. 4-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. Bernazard's a 4E22. Could be trouble. 4-20 though, he'll get to it. E22, he's got to avoid 12, 18, and 17. And he does, so it's a good play for Bernazard. 2 ground outs to second. Start the 7th. That'll bring up Randolph, and Randolph is 0 for 1. He has walked twice. Swindell, 4-3, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. Swindell is a 3 E14. 3 and a 10 for a pitcher should be okay. It is a G3, so he's good to go there. He's an E14, and E14's got to avoid 7, 13, 14, and 17. And he does, so good play for Swindell to end the inning. 1, 2, 3. So Swindell goes 7. And now we go to the top of the 8th. It'll be Franco, Carter, and Hall, and that's where the Yankees wish they had rested right-handers, but they don't. So they are going to end up going to a left-hander instead. And that left-hander is Pat Clements. Or do they go with their Getty, try to get a 6-out save? That's another possibility. You know what? They're going to go with Righetti and try to get that. This is 87 after all. They were not uncommon for a reliever closer to go 2 innings. So Righetti will be the one coming in. So we'll bring Dave Righetti into the ball game to pitch for Hudson. Righetti is well rested. Why is Righetti not coming over here? Come on, Righetti, get in here. Why are you not doing this? Hold on. Oh, because I still got the Yankees at bat. I didn't finish their last at bat. So that's why. That's why. Okay, now we've got it. Now we can take Hudson out and put Righetti in. All right, so Righetti is 0-0 with 2 saves, ERA of 0, 3 innings pitched and only 1 hit. So he's pretty well rested. Only pitched 3 innings so far this season. So he's good to go as far as that goes. So Dave Righetti is on the mound. And we'll do the totals for Hudson. I'll just check the box score real quick and get those totals for you, instead of having to calculate them myself. So Hudson went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. Walked 3, struck out 6, and he's got a chance to be the winner. Franco, Carter, and Hall are the scheduled hitters against Righetti. 6-5, right-handed, is a single. So leadoff single for Julio Franco. He will have to be held. Now Righetti's hold is a -5. So you add that to the Skinner 0, it's a -5 to get any kind of stealing done. So even if Franco gets the lead, you're talking a -7 here, be down to a 12. And you do have Carter coming up, so I think they're going to hold. They're going to hold Franco at first. They'll hold him on, but they won't try anything. Joe Carter is the batter. Carter is 0 for 3, which means he is due. 1-8, and that's a 1-6 single, but that's a 14, so he's going to line it to short. 1 away. And that will send us to Mel Hall. This is one of his 7% at bats. But he did get some hits against the lefty, so he's not helpless. 1, which means it's a wild pitch chance for Righetti. And his wild pitch rating, as we look at his computer card, his wild pitch rating is a 2. Balk is a 12. But it's a 2 for a wild pitch. No wild pitch. So Righetti to Hall. 3-7 for Hall. 1-8 is a single. That's a 12, though. He's going to line it to second for out number 2. Seems like there's a lot of line out to seconds and line out to shorts in Strat, but that's just the way it goes. Whether you get them off the ballpark effects or you get them off of something else, it seems to be a lot of them for whatever reason. So here's Tabler. Righetti to Tabler. 3-6, and that's a 1-8 home run. That is an 8. It is long and it is gone. Check it out again. Pat Tabler. It's a 3-6, which is what right here, home run. 1-8. The D20 is an 8. So how about that? A 2-run shot for Pat Tabler has put the Cleveland Indians in the lead. Take the win away from Hudson. And now Righetti could face the loss. A blown save for sure. And the Tribe now lead it 4-3. Here's Jacoby. 5-11. That's a ballpark single check. 1-7, but that's a 15. So he will line it to short to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Cleveland Indians. They take the lead, and guess what? Greg Swindell now in a chance to get the win. And that's going to be all for Righetti. He's going to go 1 inning. That's going to be it. And now they're depending on the offense to do something for the Yankees. Swindell has full endurance against Mattingly, who's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. It's 2-6 to the lefty, and that's 1 for a double. Anything else is a single, and that'll be a leadoff single for Donnie Baseball. So back come the Yankees with that leadoff single. Mattingly, of course, will not be held. Here is Winfield. Swindell, 4-9, and that's trouble again. 17 is a single 2 stars. And that will put runners at the corners. Now the Cleveland bullpen in action. So look at their bullpen arms. They have Doug Jones as their closer. Camacho's kind of like their closer as well. So it looks like Doug Jones loosening in the bullpen. Well, first of all, let's see who's rested before I make that decision. I got to see who's tired and who's not. So for Cleveland, Jones is rested, Vandenberg is rested, Yet is rested, and Camacho. So all those guys are rested. So it is Doug Jones in the bullpen, loosening. Winfield, not going to be held at first base. Now, what do you do if you're the Indians? Do you play the infield in, or do you play back and get the double play and keep it to a one-run game, possibly, a one-run scoring, possibly? If you play in, you could give up a big inning. What are they going to do here? They're going to play the infield in. They are bringing the infield in against Gary Ward. That's a 5-7. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Franco. He's a 2E26. 2E26 for Franco. That's an 11. 2 and an 11 is a G1. And we'll check for an error on the E26. So we got to avoid 12, 17, and 18, which he does. So it's a G1. So we'll consult the chart on the X chart. G1. Runners on the corners and the infield in. G1, first and third, infield in, says batter. So it says batter out, runners advance only if forced. So the play is made by Franco, 6-3. Winfield will take second base rather. Mattingly will hold. So it could have been a double play had they played that way, but they were playing to keep that run from scoring, and at least temporarily did. Now it's second and third and one out. Infield obviously in for Ron Kittle. So Swindell to Kittle. Kittle has homered in the game. He's also struck out. Feast or famine. 5-3 is a fly ball left field X. That could be trouble. That is Mel Hall. He's a 3E4. 3-12 though. See what that provides. A 3 and a 12 is an F2. That'll be a sacrifice fly, though. Check for an error on E4. He's got to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18, which he does, but it's going to be a sacrifice fly off the bat of Kittle to tie the score at 4 apiece. Situational hitting by Ron Kittle brings home the tying run. And that'll bring up Pagliarulo with 2 outs and Winfield at first. I'm sorry, Winfield at second. Clutch situation. It's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Bernazard. He's a 4. That could be trouble. 4 and a 17, though, is going to get him out of it, I think. 4 and a 17 is a G1, but you got to avoid the 22, which is 12, 17, and 18. That's a 15, so he's okay, and that's going to end the inning. But the score is now tied at 8. So Rigetti is off the hook. Swindell is no longer the winner of record. Well, he could be. He could be the winner of record, but if the Tribe score in the 9th. So I don't want to be too hasty in saying that. But we're going to the 9th with a tie score. Now the question is, do you leave Rigetti in there? Rigetti. You got Snyder, Bando, and Bernazard coming up. Boy, Rigetti just didn't have it. He wasn't very sharp, so they're bringing in Clements. Pat Clements, the left-hander, will be coming on for the Yankees. Pat Clements. This is, again, where you like to have the rested right-handers, but they don't have that. So Pat Clements is on. He is 0-1 with a 2.45 ERA and 4 innings of pitching. And he'll be facing Snyder, Bando, and Bernazard. So Pat Clements is on. His hold is a -3, so we have a -3 here for that. Rigetti goes 1 inning, gives up 2 hits and 2 runs. Of course, the home run, the big blow, no walks, no strikeouts. So he took the win away from Hudson. He can actually got a no decision now. It's in the hand of Clements. Clements and Swindell with the pitchers of record right at the moment. So Corey Snyder facing Clements to start the 9th. 6-7 against Clements is a single. So leadoff single for Corey Snyder. Snyder doesn't run well, will not be held. Here's Bando. He's a really good bunter, so we're going to have Bando bunt. Look at his bunt rating. Bando is an A bunter. The corners have come in. So we'll first see if there's any havoc on the play. There's not. Who's going to field the bunt? It's going to be, with the number 2, it's going to be the pitcher, Clements. Now, as a B bunter, he's an A bunter but turns to a B bunter. Basically needs a 9 or less. He gets a 7, which is a good sacrifice. So the sacrifice hit will go 1-4. Randolph covering first. And going to second base now with the go-ahead run is Corey Snyder. He doesn't run all that well, does Snyder. He runs at a 12, so they will not hold him on. And now Tony Bernazard steps to the plate. Clements, the lefty, to Bernazard, the switch hitter batting right-handed. 3-7 against the lefty, struck him out. Big strikeout for Clements. And that'll be all up to Julio Frank. I'm sorry, it'll be Otis Nixon. My bad, Otis Nixon. Otis Nixon, my man. But you know what? They're going to pinch hit for Nixon. Even though he doesn't have a good card, he's just going off reputation. They're going to bring in Andre Thornton to pinch hit. Thornton will pinch hit, and then going into center field will be Gallagher. So that's going to be all their bench right there being used. So Andre Thornton, the pinch hitter, and Dave Gallagher will be the new center fielder. Gallagher's a good defender, 2-0 E13. Running at a 14, so pretty good speed. But they're hoping to get lightning in a bottle with Andre Thornton. Nixon was 0 for 4 on the game, so they're going to see if Andre Thornton can get it done. Thornton on the replay is hitting .333. He's 5 out of 15. No homers or runs driven in, but still dangerous. Dangerous veteran hitter. Thornton in there against Clements. 2-3, and that's going to be a fly to right to end the inning. So Thornton fails in the pinch, and now Gallagher will be inserted into center field to take his place, and that will clear the Tribe bench. Everyone's been used, so they got to stick with who they have now. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th, and that's going to be it for Swindell. His day is done. He's going to go 8 innings. In fact, we'll get the totals on Swindell from the box score. Just so I can get accurate totals for Swindell. He's going to go 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned. He walked 5, struck out 7, gave up the 1 home run to Kittle. So Swindell is out. And the new pitcher going to be Doug Jones. Not a safe situation, but they want the best they have out there. So Doug Jones will be coming on. Right-handed pitcher. He's 0-1 with a 4.20 ERA. I'm sorry, I'm still got Swindell in there. I haven't put the didn't do the switch yet. All right, Doug Jones for Swindell. Okay, Doug Jones, 0-0 with an ERA of an even 3. He's pitched 3 innings, given up 4 hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Now, if you're the Yankees, Joel Skinner is set to bat. They could always pinch hit, and I think that's what they're going to do. They haven't used any of their pinch hitters yet. So they're going to bring in Claudell Washington. he will pinch hit, and Rick Cerrone will take over behind the plate. So Claudell Washington will be the pinch hitter to start this bottom of the ninth. And then if it goes to the 10th, Rick Cerrone will do the catching. But they're trying to win the game here in the bottom of the ninth if possible. They might pinch hit for Tollison as well. We'll have to wait and see. But Joel Skinner is now out. And Claudell Washington is in. So Claudell against Doug Jones. Claudell Washington, 1 for 2 in limited duty. The 500 average, he also has a walk to his credit. 6-3 is a ground ball pitcher X. Doug Jones is a 2, E38. 215, he'll get to that. E38, and that is a 7. So as a pitcher, E38. There is no 7, so it's good play. So Doug Jones retires the pinch hitter Washington. And now Tollison is your batter. And they will pinch hit for Tollison as well. And they will be going to Danny Pasqua off the bench. Dan Pasqua will pinch hit for Tollison. And then Len Cicada will take over at shortstop. So Tollison is out. And coming in for the Yankees will be left-handed hitting Dan Pasqua. So that will leave Suvella as the only bench player remaining. But Pasqua trying to catch lightning in a bottle here in the bottom of the ninth. Danny Pasqua. He is a .214 hitter in the replay, but he does have 2 home runs in 14 at-bats. 3-6, and that's a walk. So Pasqua will walk. So a walk to Pasqua. He runs at an 11. Cicada runs at 11. Neither one of them very good at stealing. So Pasqua will walk, and they will bring in Cicada to pinch run. Just so that he's ready to play short in the event of a extra inning game. So Cicada is the new runner. He will not be held. And Ricky Henderson is your batter. Runner at first, 1 out. Bottom of the ninth, tied at 4. Doug Jones to Ricky Henderson. 3-7 for Henderson is another walk. That's going to put the winning run at second base with 1 out. And Willie Randolph is your batter. Jones trying to get out of this. 3-10 to Randolph is a fly to center. That's 2 down. And Cicada doesn't run well enough to risk it. Especially when you got Don Mattingly coming up. You don't want to take the bat out of Mattingly's hands. It is a clutch situation. Mattingly gains a hit on 212 in the clutch. Also gains a hit on 310 in the clutch. Jones facing Mattingly. 6-5, left-handed, is a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning, and we've got free baseball. And wouldn't you know it, when I'm trying to get the game over with quickly, we go to extra innings. That's just kind of the way things work around here, seemingly. So we will keep going. Of course, if it goes so long, I'm going to have to quit and reboot, but I'll give it 11 innings. If it goes past 11 innings, I'm going to have to stop it and replay the rest of the game on a different video, or either different time and put the videos together. Maybe that's what I would do. All right, so here's Julio Franco. Oh, we got to put Rick Cerrone in as catcher. My bad. So Cicada is in at short, and Rick Cerrone is your catcher. All right, now we're ready to go. And here's Franco against Clements. 4-5, and that's going to be a split chance. 1's a single, but that's a 3, so he lines it to short. 1 away. That'll bring up Joe Carter. 6-9, and that's a 1 for a single. Anything else lines to short, so yet another liner to short. Like I said, you get a lot of line drive outs in this Strat-O-Matic game. 2 down, and that'll bring up Mel Hall, a lefty. But they have to go with who they have. They have nobody left on the bench. 6-5, and that's a double. Mel Hall says, leave me in there. I'm 3 for 5. That's a double. Go ahead run is at second base. They will hold him on, which means the second baseman, Willie Randolph, is responsible for holding the runner. So second base X could be a problem if it gets to that. Here's Tabler. Homered his last time up. 1-9, ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So we're going to the bottom of the 10th. Score still tied at 4. Doug Jones back out. He's not tired. He'll be facing Winfield, Ward, and Kittle. Again, the only one on the bench left is Zuvella, and they're not going to use him. So Jones, 110. Ground ball to short. Winfield grounds it to Franco for the out. That will send up Gary Ward. 2-5, and that's a pop out to second. 2 down for Ron Kittle. One 7 struck him out, and we're going to the 11th. That's going to be it for him. We go to the 11th. Clements might need relief here. He can go 2, but he's not showing his tired yet on the computer, so I'm going to take their word for it that he's not tired. And we're going to leave him out there. Here's Jacoby to lead things off, followed by Snyder and Bando to start the 11th inning. 4-4 tie. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Cleveland. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 6-8 to the right-hander is a single. So it's a base hit for Jacoby to start things off. And that'll send up Corey Snyder. He's not a good bunter, so he's going to swing away against Clements. 6-11, ground ball pitcher X. He's a 2E0. 2 and a 16, that could be a double play, and it is. 2 and a 16 is a G1. He's an E0, so you know he's going to make the play. It's a 1-4-3 double play. That's the pitcher's best friend. And now 2 outs and the base is clear for Bando. 3-6 against the lefty. He lines it to Pagliarulo, and we're going to the bottom of the 11th. Doug Jones back out for his third inning of work. He does have 3 as fatigue rating, so he's still good to go. Of course, they won't be available next game. Neither one of these guys will be. They'll have to rest next game, but they'll worry about next game when it gets here. Here's Pagliarulo. Here in the bottom of the 11th of a tie game. 6-7 to the lefty is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Franco, and he is a 2E26. 2-19 is good. E26, he's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. Which he barely does, but he does, and there's 1 away. That'll bring up Cerrone for his first at bat, since coming in to replace Skinner. Cerrone on the season, 1 for 4, 250 average, no homers and a run driven in. 4-8, and that is a single for Rick Cerrone. Of course, you can't pinch run for him. You got to leave him in there because he's the only catcher left. So he's going to have to stay in there. And here comes Len Sakata. Sakata, a 125 hitter. He's 1 for 8. No homers and a run driven in. 3-7 for Sakata as a ground ball to short. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play to end the 11th inning. I'll play 12, and then if it doesn't get resolved after 12, I'm going to have to stop and reboot later. Right now, we go to the 12th. That's going to be it for Clemens. He is going to go 3 innings. Well, let's get the box score to tell me instead of trying to figure it out myself. Let's do it the easy way. Both he and Jones are going to be done, and they're both going to go 3 innings. So let's get that information for both of them. Clemens is going to go 3 innings, give up 3 hits, no runs, no walks and a strikeout. And for Doug Jones, he's going to go 3 innings, give up 1 hit rather, no runs, 2 walks and a strikeout. So we need a new pitcher for the Yankees, and it will be another lefty, because the right-handers are tired, so I'm not going to use them unless I run out of pitchers. So they're going to go to left-hander Bob Shirley out of the bullpen. Once I find his card, that is. Bob Shirley. And I don't know who's coming in yet for the Cleveland Indians. It might be Ernie Camacho. It might be somebody else. We will have to see. There's Bob Shirley. Bob Shirley is your new pitcher for the Yankees to start the bottom of the 12th, or top of the 12th, rather. So Bob Shirley it is. And on the replay, Shirley is 1-1 with a 4.50 earned run average. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And Shirley will be facing top of the order, Bernazard, Gallagher, and Franco, as Gallagher had come in for Otis Nixon. So Bernazard will be the first to bat. Top of the 12th, 1-7. He's going to draw a leadoff walk. Bad news if you're the pitcher. You don't want to have leadoff walks. He will try to get the jump. Shirley is a -4 hold, though, so that could be a problem. But I still think you got to try to do something. Try to sneak that run across. So Bernazard, to get the lead, needs a 4 through 6 or a 4 through 6, but 11 he gets caught stealing. That's a 6, so he gets the lead. So we come over here as a 15, being held as a 13, -4 is a 9. So it's a 1-9 for Bernazard, but doggone it, you got to take a chance. So 1-9, he gets caught stealing. So they got a little bit over aggressive, and it did not pay off. He gets caught stealing, ran off with the tag, and that's the end of that. Here's Gallagher. First at bat for him against Shirley. 4-7 is another walk. So Shirley issues yet another walk. Gallagher, 2 through 6 on. They're going to try to get the lead again. 2 through 6 or an 11. He gets the lead, and he'd have a 20 if he gets the lead. So they're definitely going to send him. He does not get the lead, though, so he will hold. And it'll be up to Julio Franco. 5-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. He is being held on, so that will affect Willie Randolph. He's going to turn to a 3E17 instead of a 2E17. 3 and a 14 might not matter, though. 3 and a 14 is a G. What did matter? Went from a G1 to a G2. So won't be a double play. It'll be a force play. And Randolph's error rating is an E17. So he's got to avoid 6-15, 3 and 18. Which he does, but instead of a double play, it's going to be a force play. So 4-6 on the fielder's choice. Franco is there. He's going to look to get the lead. He needs a 2 through 5 to do it. He does not, so he will have to hold also. And now it's going to come all the way down to Joe Carter. Joe Carter with a chance. Franco is held at first, obviously. Carter is 0 for 5, so to say he's due is really an understatement. 5-12, though, he's going to be 0 for 6 as he grounds back to Shirley to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 12th. See who's coming in for the Tribe to pitch. Whoever it is, they're going to be facing the top of the order. Henderson, Randolph, and Mattingly will be the top of the order coming in. And coming on to pitch for the Tribe will be right-hander Ernie Camacho. Ernie Macho Camacho will be coming in to pitch. So Camacho on the replay is 1-0. His ERA is 21.60, so he got some run support, obviously. He's only pitched 2 innings, getting up 4 hits. So you can't really judge anything on just 2 innings of pitching, obviously. But he'll be facing Ricky Henderson. Camacho, a +6 hold. That's another problem. To go with Bando, and Bando's arm is a +1, so that's a +5. So if Ricky gets the jump, it's almost automatically. But they need him in there to keep him off the bases. 6-4, and that's a ground ball to short. So big out there to get Ricky Henderson, keep him off the bases. Here is Willie Randolph. 5-8 for Randolph. Make sure the focus is okay. 5-8 for Randolph, and that is a ground ball second base X. That's Bernazard, a 4E22. 4 and a 5. That's going to get through for a base hit. E22, that's a 14. There is no 14, but it will be a base hit for Willie Randolph. He is the winning run. He needs a 3 to get the lead. Does not get the lead. He will hold. They will have to hold him on, and here's Don Mattingly. Chance for Donnie Baseball to win it right here against Camacho. 6-2, it's a fly ball left field X. That is Hall. He's a 3E4. 3 and an 8. That's going to be interesting. 3 and an 8 is an F1. That means the runner's going to advance to second base. Either way you go, Randolph's going to make second base. E4, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18, which he does, but it's a fly to left, but it's so deep that Randolph will take second base. So it does put Randolph in scoring position for Winfield. First base is open. They will walk Winfield intentionally and take their chances with Gary Ward. So it's Camacho against Ward. Randolph is being held at second because he is the winning run, and he runs at a 14. They don't want to give him any extra advantage. Camacho, 3-7, and that is a strikeout of Gary Ward. And we are going to the 13th inning, and I'm going to have to, on the video, for video purposes, going to have to cut off the video at this point and come back and redo it this evening so that I can put it all together and do one, hopefully, seamless video. But there you go. That's part 1. 12 innings in the books is still 4-4, but just based on time factor, I got to get going here. So we go to the 12th inning, 13th inning actually, and I will set up Shirley to face Mel Hall to start things off, but that's where we'll leave it. And I will come back and finish this game at a different time. But right now, at the end of 12 innings, the score is 4-4, and that's where we're leaving it. So I'll come back and finish the game, and we'll make one seamless video, and hopefully it will all look okay. Okay, we're going to try to put these 2 videos together and make one seamless video. Test my editing skills, which are not very good. But we are now in the top of the 13th. Started recording this at about 10:30 Sunday morning. It is now 8:45 Sunday night. Just got home. So I left everything the way it was, and now we're ready to get going here in inning number 13. Second inning of work for Bob Shirley. He's facing Mel Hall, Pat Tabler, and Brooke Jacoby. Hall is 3 for 5 in this ball game. 312 for Hall against the left-hander is a ballpark blast. He does have normal power, 1-9. That's a 17 though. So it will just be a deep fly to right that Winfield will haul in at the track. And there is one away. That'll bring up Pat Tabler. Tabler did homer in the 8th inning. That at the time gave the Indians a 4-3 lead until the Yankees tied it in the bottom half of the inning. 3-8 against the left-hander. That is a solid single for Pat Tabler. So Tabler now 3 for 5. 2 singles, a home run, and a walk. He will not be held. And Brooke Jacoby is your batter. Shirley trying to get out of this inning. Jacoby is 2 for 5 on the game. 4-9 right-handed. That's an in-home run chance, but Jacoby has normal power. It's a 1-5, but that's a 6. So it will be a fly to right field. So just that close. A 1-5 would be a 2-run home run. But a 6 is going to be a fly out to right field for out number 2. And again, Winfield to the track. And there's 2 away. 2 near misses, and here's Corey Snyder. Snyder is only 1 for 4 in this ball game. Havoc roll, nothing happening. Snyder facing Shirley. 2-8 against the left-hander, struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 13th, and my score sheet only goes to 13, at least the sheet that I have with the logos on it. Now, yeah, it only goes up to... well, it goes to 14 on this other sheet, but good thing I'm scoring it on the computer because computer will take care of things. And what I'll end up doing is printing the score sheet after the game is over so you get a clean version of what you just saw. All right, so Ernie Camacho will start his second inning of work. And he'll be facing Kittle, Pagliarulo, and Cerrone here in the bottom of the 13th. Benches are pretty much depleted. The Indians have used all 4 of their bench players. Yankees have Zuvella still left. Bullpen, Yankees have 2 right-handers, but they're both tired. But I may have to go to them if the game keeps going because Shirley's going to run out of relief room in a while anyway. Cleveland has 4 relievers that are rested. Waddell, Yet, Carlton, and Vandenberg. So they're in better shape on relief pitching. I will say that. All right, here's Camacho to Kittle. That's a 4-8, and that is a fly to center field. 1 away. That will send us to Pagliarulo. He's 0 for 4 with a walk. The 5-8 to the lefty is a ground ball second base X. Bernazar is a 4-22. 4 and a 6 could be trouble. A 4 and a 6 is going to be a single. So we'll get by him for a single. We'll check for an error on the E22. He's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18, which he barely does. So it's going to be a single for Pagliarulo. Doesn't run too well, so he will not be held. He certainly won't go anywhere. Although Camacho is a +6, so it's a +5 overall. So if he did get the jump, but you only roll a 5, and he's caught stealing automatically on a 9 or a 10, so they're just going to hold him there. So Pagliarulo, a 1-out single, and now here is Rick Cerrone, the catcher. Cerrone trying to see what he can do. He's 1 for 1 and is only at bat. 5-10, and that's going to be a ground ball third base X. That's going to be the third baseman, Jacoby. He's a 4E25. So with the 4, he's going to need a 7 or higher to get to this. 16 he will. In fact, 16 is going to be a G2, not a G1, so it's going to be a fielder's choice, assuming there's no error. Jacoby E25 has to avoid 6, 8, 13, 15, and 17. That's an 18, so I think he's okay with that. E20, no, he's not okay with it. I take it back. E25. No, I'm sorry, looking at second base. E25, third base, 18 is good. So it's going to be a fielder's choice, 5-4 for out number 2. New runner at first base is now Cerrone, and he runs really slow. And weak hitting Len Sakata. Well, not too bad. 267 average and 45 at bats. So Sakata. But Sakata did hit into a double play as only at bat. 0 for 1. And he'll be facing Camacho, or else we're going to the 14th inning. 3-9, he strikes out. And we are going to the 14th inning. So we're going to the 14th. I'm going to just, what I'm going to do, because I ran out of innings, is I'm just going to pre-fill this. Oops. Let's see about just keeping this whole thing open until I get the actual innings that I need. And we'll put a 14 there, 15 there, whatever it happens to be. We'll make that the last inning that shows, and we'll keep that at 0. So we are to the 14th inning. And Bob Shirley will be having his 3rd inning pitching. He's got a fatigue of 4. He can go a long ways for sure. So he is a number 4 in fatigue. And he'll be facing Bando, Bernazard, and Gallagher. 9, 1, and 2 in the Cleveland order. Here in the bottom of the 14th. For Camacho, it's probably going to be all for him. He went 2 innings, and that's definitely going to be all for him. They'll bring in a new pitcher. Camacho goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, no runs. He walked 1, which was intentional, and had 2 strikeouts. And we'll figure out who the new pitcher is going to be. It'll be the top of the order for the Yankees. Henderson, Randolph, and Mattingly. So it looks like might very well be Rich Yet that comes into the game for Cleveland in the bottom of the 14th, but we will see. First things first, we're going to Chris Bando against Bob Shirley. Top of the 14th, rather, tied at 4. That's a 5-2 switch hitter being right-handed. That is a ground ball back to Shirley, and there's 1 away. That'll bring up Bernazard, top of the order. And Bernazard is hitless. He's 0 for 5 with a walk. 2-7 against the lefty. He's now 0 for 6. Not good if your leadoff man is 0 for 6. That usually does not bode well. But they are in extra innings, so they haven't lost it yet. And that'll bring up Gallagher. And Gallagher, not much of a hitter. He hit 111, 4 for 36 in real world. He's 0 for 4 in the replay so far with a walk. Does have a stolen base. 312, and that's going to be a low max. So low max for Gallagher. If I can get his thing here to see what the low max is on the computer, because I cut it off on his card. So where are you here? Gallagher, Lomax, it doesn't say on the computer. It doesn't say, it just says Lomax. So I don't know which position that is. So I'm going to have to go to the computer and put it in dice mode and type in the 312 myself. And see what it tells me as far as who he lines it to. Lomax to third is what it says. So L5. And that'll end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 14th. Shirley can keep going. Camacho cannot. He is done. So Cleveland will turn to another relief pitcher. And who do they turn to? They're going to turn to Rich Not Yet. 3-9 with a 5.25 earned run average. Rich Yet to start the bottom of the 14th. Facing the top of the order, Henderson, Randolph, and Mattingly. Henderson, dangerous if he can get on, because he can certainly run. So allow me to get this game preferences back to manual entry and insert Rich Yet into the ball game for Cleveland. So Rich Yet is on, and the replay Yet is 0-0 with 1 save. He's got a terrible ERA of 11.25, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, but 3 home runs allowed in 4 innings pitching. So the long ball has bit him. We'll see what happens here against Ricky. 4-12, and that's a ground ball first base C, so fielded by the first baseman Carter, and he will flip it to Yet, covering for the 3-1 putout. We're out number 1. So Ricky is out of there, and here's Willie Randolph. That's a 6-8, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-4, but that's a 6. It'll be a double for Willie Randolph, and immediately with first base open, they will walk Mattingly intentionally. They're not going to let Mattingly beat them. So the intentional walk has been given to Mattingly. Puts 2 on with 1 out. Randolph will be held because he runs at a 14. They got to try to cut the runoff at the plate. So he will be held. And here is Winfield. Yet to Winfield. First and second, 1 out. Bottom of the 14th, tied at 4. Looking for the double play. 4-8. And that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. Now here comes Gary Ward, and there's nowhere to put him. Rich Yet has to throw a strike. Infield has to come in. Really no choice, although, boy, Ward is very good at hitting into double plays. A lot of ground ball A's on his card. So they're actually going to play back for the double play. They're playing back for the double play. Yet to Ward. 3-7, and that is a strikeout. A huge strikeout. 3-7 is a strikeout. And that's going to send us now to the final play. Final chance for the Yankees is Ron Kittle. 2 outs, bases loaded. Clutch situation for Kittle against Rich Yet. Yet to Kittle. 6-8, and that's gone. It's a double. It won't be a home run. 1-4 is a home run, but 5-20 is a double on that 6-8. That's a 2. It's a double. They're just going to score it as a single because once that first run comes across, the game is over. So it is a walk-off single for Ron Kittle, and the Yankees defeat the Indians in 14 innings by the final score of 5-4. Took them 14 innings to do so. Check the line score. For the Yankees, 5 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. For the Cleveland Indians, 4 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. And we'll go to the box score and get the pertinent information. Winning pitcher is Bob Shirley. He is now 2-1. As Shirley went 3 innings, gave up just 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Losing pitcher is Rich Yet. He drops to 0-1. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits and a run, walked 2, struck out 1. Left on base, the Yankees left on 13, Cleveland left on 10. So with the victory, the Yankees improved to 4-3. 4-3 for the Yankees. Cleveland now 3-4. So I guess I don't have to print off the box score. This is pretty standard stuff right here, I think. So there you go. Cleveland couldn't quite get it done as the Yankees outlast them in 14 innings by the score of 5-4. And I'm going to try to put this thing together, merge the 2 videos together, and hopefully it comes out seamlessly. We don't know. My editing skills on the computer are not very good, so who knows how it'll turn out. But I'm going to do whatever I can do to get it out there. Player of the game. Boy, is there a player of the game. Well, let's look at the I'll look at the summary on the Strat computer and see if it gives anything. Let's look at the box score and see who had a big day for the Yankees. Kittle was 2 for 6 with 3 runs driven in. Tempted to give it to, well, Clemens and Shirley both. Each pitched 3 innings of solid relief. So maybe a co-player of the game with these two guys. The Yankee bullpen, 6 innings pitched, 4 hit shutout in 6 innings. So quality work by the bullpen for the Yankees. And actually the Indians bullpen did well too. 5 innings, 3 hit shutout until the 14th where Rich Yet kind of fell apart. But that's going to do it from here. Yankees do get the victory by the score of 5-4 to improve the record to 4-3. Cleveland drops to 3-4. And as I mentioned earlier, the next video for the April 14th games, which will be the next games played, but the next video on the channel based on the 14th date we will be at Fenway Park. It'll be the Texas Rangers taking on, in fact, these are the next 2 games coming up. On April 14th, it'll be Texas at Boston. That's going to be Ed Correa against Al Nipper. And in this one, April 15th, this is the game that Juan Nieves threw a no-hitter in real world against the Orioles. So we're going to replay that game. It'll be Juan Nieves and the Brewers against the Orioles. I'm not sure who the pitcher is for the Orioles, but those are the next 2 games video-wise. And, of course, I'll be playing the other ones offline. And I'll show the box scores. Not the box scores. I'll show the score sheets when I'm all said and done. So we're played up through April 13th. Each team now, so we look at the standings, each team, well, not each team because some teams didn't play. So some teams have played 7 games. Some have only played 6. Right now, Seattle leads the West at a 6-1 record. Milwaukee leads the East with a 6-1 record. Last place in the West is California at 1-6. Last place in the East is Boston at 0-6. So it's still early. A lot of things can happen. But anyway, that's where we're at the moment. And so Boston will be trying to get their first win of the season in the next video against the Texas Rangers. Texas only 2-4, so it's a good chance Boston can get that first win behind Al Nipper, who throws a lot of junk and maybe can baffle the Rangers. We shall see. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that elongated version of Strat-O-Matic 1987 style, going 14 innings with a 5-4 Yankees win. So till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.